school bus driver for handicapped kids and never knew what a political fight was all about. Charlie was best known to many of you as Shockner, but to me he was Chuck. It was an honor and a great privilege to be part of his life, and I considered him to be a blessing to humankind. His love and understanding of the average working person will always be remembered to all who knew him. He always recognized the needs of the less fortunate and will never, ever be forgotten by those who loved him. Charlie understood the needs of the working class people, and he proved that you didn't need housing professionals to run a housing complex like Co-op City. Charlie helped us thumb our noses at the New York State financial establishment and taught us how working people could use the $21 million of rent we collected and use that money to weaken them and use that money to curtail their ability to sell state bonds to bondholders and banks. And a lot of that money was in plastic garbage bags in my house. By doing so, we almost caused the state to go into default. This was something no one group has ever been able to do against the financial power of this state, or in fact, any state. Charlie also proved that you didn't need housing professionals to run a housing complex, just people who understood the real needs of everyday working families. He helped make working people who might have felt they were insignificant become the most sophisticated political constituency in the United States, and helped to educate them more than they ever could have imagined. On a personal note, Charlie was one of the most dynamic, personable, knowledgeable people I ever met in my life, and had the unique ability to find the best qualities in individuals that even they never imagined they possessed. I'm a true example of that. For example, one time Charlie approached me with a stack of bids he received from numerous laundry contractors to install new washing machines and dryers in 35 high-rise Co-op City buildings. He gave the bids to me, knowing that I was one of the few mechanically inclined machine buffs on the board of directors. To say I was overwhelmed being a school bus driver for handicapped kids would be putting it mildly. And I knew nothing about washing machines. In fact, I never even did a laundry. I took the bids home, and not even understanding what a bid was, I told my wife, Norma, there is no way that I can do this. I can't even understand the documents he gave me. And after days of reading it, I decided that I would tell Charlie there was no way that I could do this. So I handed this enormous pile, it was about a pile about that big, of literature back to him, and with that Charlie quickly handed them back to me and said in his inimitable way, Ben, do it. In other words, he gave me a look as to say, I'm making you an offer you cannot refuse, because I have no one else, and you are the one. There were just no way of saying no to Charlie. So I went back and completely researched the project. I thought about how did the U.S. Navy deal with this problem. It dawned on me that these submarines and aircraft carriers are at sea 6 months, a year without refueling. And I was sure they didn't have a service that picked up laundry once a week. So I did some research and I found out that which machines they use, and that was the answer. After we came up with the solution to the machines and which contractor to use, we negotiated a deal to have the contractor pay a portion of the profits back to Co-op City, and Co-op City management no longer had to have any role except to make sure the contractor was abiding by all rules of the agreement negotiated by the board of directors. This was all done by ordinary working people. Nobody was sophisticated in management. They were all people like myself. Charlie was such a motivator of people and so clearly understood their needs and helped them to develop qualities in themselves that they never knew they possessed. He showed us all what we were capable to accomplish as ordinary people with the heart and passion to fight back. He was so in touch with people and really cared about each and every one of the people he led. He also approached his illness in the most positive way and never gave up. When I asked him how he still kept such a positive attitude during the trying days of his illness, he simply said, quote, "I look at this as my job, and my job is to stay alive." In closing, allow me to tell you a story on a very personal basis. Charlie was my best friend and dearest friend. He was the most trustworthy person I had ever met in my whole life. You know, people use the phrase, "my best friend." Let me tell you a story about the phrase, my best friend, what Charlie told me about his definition of what the meaning of a best friend is. This was his definition to me. Of course, this was back in the 70s when cell phones didn't exist. He said to me, "Ben, imagine it's 1 a.m. in the morning, your car broke down on the Major Deegan Expressway to the Yankee Stadium, and you only had 1 quarter to call someone you knew. One call someone you knew who would come and help you no matter what was going on in their life." Charlie was that person. That was his definition of a true friend. A person who would always be there for you. I have never forgotten that interpretation. And Charlie was there, not only for my family, but for many others. Over the years, Charlie's symbolic has been there many times for my family and me when I only had that 1 quarter in my pocket and needed that friend's help. I will never, ever forget that beautiful man. And I just want to say to his children and his grandchildren, don't think of him as being deceased, because his genes are living on in your bodies, not just your minds, your bodies. So technically, he is still alive and will continue to be alive as long as you keep him in your thoughts and your wishes and your hopes and your prayers. And he will carry on, not only through a meeting like this, but he will carry on through you. Thank you.